Hi, everyone, and good afternoon. My name is Jackie Leiser. I'm a senior manager with CAQH Core, and I'm really excited to welcome you all to Core's last webinar of 2024. We'll be focusing today on Core certification, and hopefully you all can learn a bit about how it can help your organization. We're also joined by Edifex today, who will be giving a preview of our redesigned testing platform, so a few exciting updates to share with you all. Before we jump into the presentation, I'll just go over some brief webinar logistics for the audience. Today's session is being recorded, so anyone who attended or registered but could not attend will receive a link to the recording after the webinar, along with a copy of the slides. All audience members will have their microphones muted during the webinar. However, if you have a question for any of our panelists or speakers, we do encourage them. Please use that Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen to submit a question at any time. And at the end of the presentation, we will have some time for audience Q&A. Taking a look at the next slide, I'll just go through our agenda for the next 45 minutes. Core will kick things off by talking a bit about who we are and a brief overview of operating roles. And then they'll dive into an intro to certification for those who might not be as familiar with the process. And then we'll pass things over to Edifex, who will give a brief overview of who Edifex is, and then our exciting 10 to 15-minute demo of the redesigned testing platform for core certification. I mentioned earlier we will wrap things up with a Q&A and then a brief call to action at the very end. And with that, I'm going to let our speakers for the day introduce themselves, starting with Ashish from Edifex.
Hey everyone. Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Myself, Ashish Gandhi. I'm a senior director with Edifex with over 22 years of industry experience and now 11 years in Edifex. It's been a wonderful journey working with some of the great minds of US healthcare industry and working with some innovative solution and helping our customer achieving the new milestones. Today, working with CAQH on providing value through our core certification platform. Happy to be part of this partnership. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Harsha?
Hello everyone, my name is Harsha Sharma and I am an associate implementation consultant with Edifex. I specialize in the post-sales support, focusing on the implementation of Edifex solutions that are tailored to each client's needs. I'm happy to be part of CAQH Core. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Harsha. Taha?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Taha Andrawala. I'm an associate director at Core. I've been with the organization for 10 years, and I oversee many of our rule development activities from, developing our rules from start to finish. And then on the implementation side of the house, also oversee our certification program, which is the spotlight of today. So glad to talk to and speak to you about the newly redesigned certification test site to help streamline your implementation and validation of the rules, and glad to partner with Edifex on this initiative. So excited to talk to you later today.
Thanks, Taha. Last but not least, Adam.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Taha. My name is Adam Nichols. I'm the certification manager at CAQH Core, and just wanted to thank you all for joining in and listening on today's webinar with Edifex, our partner. And I've been with CAQH Core now for about seven and a half years, and I help to facilitate all of the different organizations going into the process, the payers and clearinghouses and vendors, as well as providers. So really look forward to today's webinar and providing you all some guidance and background on the program. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, everyone. With that, I'm going to pass things over to Taha, who will get us started.
Thanks, everyone. So before we kind of dive into the certification process and a demo of the test site, just wanted to level set and provide some overall an overview of who Core is and kind of our relevance to the industry, and dive into the services that we offer, the areas our operating roles touch, and then a little bit about the types of operating roles, just to ensure that there may be some folks on the call that may be like really knowledgeable on this, but wanted just to provide a brief background on level set. So next slide, please. So CORE operates at the heart of healthcare administration. We really drive advancements in automation and interoperability across the industry. We work to establish clear, concise, and trusted guidelines known as operating rules, which are our primary work products that the organization then implements. And the goal of these rules is really to streamline those essential but often cumbersome back office tasks. And these rules that we publish aren't merely just suggestions. They're often best practices, but 10 of them are mandated under HIPAA, ensuring that those key processes for healthcare administration are standardized. But our goal goes beyond just mandating rules. We recognize the diversity of healthcare organizations, and we also offer voluntary rule sets to ensure flexible adoption based on individual needs and priorities. So this adaptability between mandated and voluntary rules is really key to ensuring that we have industry-wide buy-in into our final work products. Now let's talk about impact. So as you can see on the slide, the 2023 CEQH Index paints a compelling picture. It really reveals a staggering potential for cost reduction, almost whooping $18.3 billion in cost savings achievable through complete automation of those administrative tasks. And core operating rules are key to unlocking these savings and facilitating a wide switch and shift to electronic processes from a lot of your manual tasks. And lastly, core strength lies in its collaborative spirit. So we are supported by a network of 100 diverse organizations, from small providers to national health plans. We try to bring everyone to the table, and this collaborative approach really enables our stakeholders to tackle complex challenges together. We leverage our unique position as a convener and driver innovation to really solve those tough issues and really align to where industry can work together to really support and drive automation on key administrative processes, which I'll kind of walk through on the next slide. So let's dive closer on how CORE streamlines these essential administrative functions in healthcare. So as you can see on the slide, the diagram maps out the typical flow of patient information, and the core operating rules that we work with our stakeholders really provide critical support for various healthcare administrative functions, really addressing the full life cycle of a patient's healthcare experience. Beginning with the scheduling of a patient encounter, our core rules facilitate the electronic exchange of eligibility information, really enabling a provider to verify a patient's coverage and ensure an efficient appointment process. Additionally, attributed patient rosters can help streamline care coordination. So as the patient encounter occurs, COREs can also ensure that a prior authorization and referral is handled seamlessly, ensuring that providers are providing timely care and addressing patients' needs at the point of care. After the care is delivered, a provider then submits a claim, and core rules can guide the electronic handling of healthcare claim and claim status inquiries, ensuring there's transparency and accuracy in the delivery of those transactions. And then on the health plan side, ensuring that claims can be adjudicated timely and correctly by the health plan at the first time of submission. As the health plan adjudicates the claim, and when payment is due, the core rules then help streamline the payment and remittance processes, ensuring that providers are paid efficiently and with clear remittance details explaining potential reasons for denials or adjustments in a claim. Finally, the rules also support the management of a health plan membership, covering activities such as benefit enrollment and premium payment, really ensuring that members can easily maintain their coverage and ensure that they have access to care. So by addressing these interconnected administrative processes, our core rules really simplify workflows, reduce efficiencies, and really support more interoperable healthcare system for all, and across all the different stakeholders that participate in interacting with any of these key functions. And then kind of looking at what operating rules are and kind of the type of operating rules that we offer to the industry. There are two different categories, I would say. One is infrastructure related rules, and the second category is data content rules. And infrastructure rules really set the foundational requirements that govern how information exchange. Think of this as system level considerations such as availability. How often should systems be up and when they go down? What are the notification timeframes required for that provider, security concerns, ensuring, that the data is, protected and secure during transmission, and response times to ensure, those interactions are reliable. So for example, when a patient or when a provider verifies a patient's insurance coverage and, they want to get, a co-payment amount, our infrastructure rules really ensure that that a health plan system responds within 20 seconds or less, really creating that real-time experience, ensuring that, the patient's there at the front desk and getting that payment and co-payment amount really at that time. So by guaranteeing predictable system behavior, these rules really enable providers to deliver efficient care while minimizing administrative delays. The next category is our data content rules, and these rules focus on enhancing the quality and relevance of information exchanged during a transaction. So they may standardize optional data elements by making them required when deemed critical to automate workflows and to improve accuracy. So for example, in a prior authorization process, our rules might require additional clinical information that wasn't originally required by the set standard. But now, to streamline the approval process and ensure that it can happen more quicker and create more accurate decision making, our rules really help eliminate that ambiguity, ensure that the right information is there for every transaction. So in the case of prior authorization, our prior authorization rules require the inclusion of link codes in the standard transaction to really help automate approvals and facilitate faster PAs, as a real world example of data content rules. And together, by combining both infrastructure and data content rules, these can help create more of a cohesive and interoperable network. And by balancing the reliability of consistent infrastructure with detailed data content requirements, we really can help support efficient workflows, reduce costs, and improve overall system performance in healthcare. So with that, wanted to provide just lay the groundwork for core and kind of the type of operating rules. And now we'll pass it to Adam Nichols, who will kind of walk us through the certification process and kind of the implementation component of the core operating rules. Over to you, Adam.
Thank you, Taha. And today I'd like to present you with an overview of the core certification program and discuss its significance in achieving compliance with the operating rules, where certification not only validates an organization's adherence to essential standards, but also enhances its credibility in the marketplace. So looking at that next slide, first off, we'd just like to congratulate the organizations that have recently achieved certification and recertification in adherence to the operating rules in the latest updates. As of now, we are proud to announce that we have awarded a total of 415 certifications. And on this slide, you'll find organizations that have successfully attained core certification and recertification for 2024. So again, congratulations to you all. Looking at the next slide. So just a quick high-level overview of the core certification program. So as operating rules are published, CAQH Core offers a certification and testing program to ensure that the industry has successfully implemented operating rules and associated standards as defined and required by regulations or trading partner agreements. So back in 2007, Core launched core certification to support organizations implementing those operating rules. The certification program validates and demonstrates conformance to the rules that organizations implemented to ensure that their systems are up to date. And this program was developed by the industry for the industry through a transparent multi-stakeholder process, similar to the process in which the operating rules themselves were developed. The core certification offers cost savings, industry recognition, and a market advantage for organizations like health plans, vendors, and providers, or any organization that exchanges healthcare information. The certification program is designed to ensure that IT systems and the products are aligned with federally recognized and industry-developed operating rules and underlying standards. One of the key components that makes core certification valuable is the aspect of the certification testing itself. Testing not only requires adherence to implementation at a policy level, but requires organizations to validate conformance on the transaction basis, such as testing the 270-271 transaction and or creating connectivity via our third-party testing partner. These elements are really the foundation as to why the core certification program is really the gold standard for the industry. The core seal provides that confidence to organizations. It attests to having them completed a comprehensive, non-biased, and independent process to ensure adherence to the operating rules and underlying standards. Looking at that next slide. So, a lot of organizations ask themselves as to why to certify or recertify for that matter. So organizations pursue core certification for a variety of reasons, each contributing to their operational excellence and compliance readiness. One of the motivations for seeking core certification or recertification for that matter is to ensure adherence to the federal mandates. Core certification serves as a vital framework for organizations to align their operations with the regulatory requirements, minimizing the risk for non-compliance. Core certification also plays a crucial role in preparing organizations for compliance reviews, with CMS actively auditing organizations as part of their compliance review program. Having the core certification seal can significantly expedite the audit process. Certification not only demonstrates commitment to compliance, but also reduces the time required to complete the audit reviews. By obtaining core certification, organizations can effectively assess, demonstrate, document, and certify their conformance with federally mandated standards and operating rules. This proactive approach instills confidence in organizations during audits, showcasing really their dedication to maintaining high standards of compliance and operational integrity. In summary, pursuing the core certification is a strategic decision that enhances compliance readiness, streamlines that audit processes, and builds organizational credibility. Looking at the next slide, I'd like to talk about the core certification process in itself. So really in the upcoming slides, I just want to walk through the steps to successfully complete core certification. And then additionally, I want to highlight the recent changes to the testing and the testing tasks themselves. So looking at the next slide here, let's just walk through the process for the core operating rule implementation approach. So illustrated on this slide, the core certification process focuses on 7 strategic steps, beginning with a comprehensive assessment of applicable operating rules for your organization's certification testing. The analysis phase involves a deep dive into the operating rule requirements and resource allocation for adoption. CAQH Core's analysis and planning guide offers invaluable tools for both quick assessments and detailed evaluations, helping organizations streamline implementation and identify necessary changes. The third step, the post-assessment, organizations must strategically allocate resources for testing and potentially collaborate with core certified vendors or clearinghouses to address outsourced rule requirements. When looking to remediate your product or solution for that matter, in preparation for core certification, there are many free and accessible tools available to organizations. In addition to the analysis and planning guide, CAQH Core offers other tools that can be found on the CAQH Core process page, such as the CAQH Core Master Test Suites, which are transaction-specific documents that specify the test scripts that must be met in the certification testing, and the master test bed data, which is the dummy data that must be used in the certification testing itself. If any questions arise, feel free to reach out to the CAQH Core team. We'd be happy to set up a call with you. Upon resolving the identified gaps, organizations should establish a testing account with the CAQH Core authorized testing vendor with guidance available from the core team for navigating the test site. After successfully completing the testing, Core requires the submission of a HIPAA attestation form confirming conformance to the tested operating rule sets. And last but not least, Core recertification required every 3 years really ensures the ongoing compliance that with evolving technologies and updated rule requirements, maintaining program integrity and market alignment are there as well. So this is a high-level overview of the operating rule implementation approach. Looking at the next slide. So Edifex, our third-party vendor, provides a streamlined testing platform for health plans providers, clearinghouses, and vendors to evaluate compliance with the 7 operating rule sets located on the left. The recent The recently upgraded site offers an intuitive, user-friendly experience with a modern design focused on simplicity, flexible testing options allowing selection of specific rule sets without multiple logins, smart branching logic to tailor testing scope based on organizational requirements, integrated support system for direct communication with the Edifix team, and then a future-proof architecture enabling Core to easily incorporate new operating rules. This enhanced platform ensures a more efficient and tailored testing experience for all organizations pursuing the operating rules. Looking at the next slide. So when pursuing Core certification, an organization will encounter three different types of testing tasks. The first would be transaction-based testing, which involves establishing connectivity with the Edifix test site and performing role-specific actions. So for instance, as a health plan testing for eligibility and benefits, you'd respond to a provider's 270 request, 271 response. The second type of testing case task that you would run into would be a file or document upload. So you would need to provide an evidence of conformance to the operating rule set. Examples here would include snapshots of your system downtimes or let's say a published companion guide. And last but not least, conformance sign-off based testing tasks. You would be required to conform your current or planned conformance to the operating rule set you'd be pursuing. So these are the variety of different test cases that you would be running into, and it's a very straightforward and intuitive process for most organizations navigating through the certification process. And with that review, I'll hand the call over to Ashish. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. So before we jump onto the demo for the new platform, which houses these new requirements or enhancements that has come in, I just wanted to give you a little background of Edifix, a high-level overview. I'll just take a minute. Next slide, please. Talking about Edifix, we have been in this industry for more than 27 years, and we are privately associated with 10 of the country's largest health plans, the 29 of the 39 Blue Cross and Blue Shield licensees, so and 6 of the top health systems. So you can see our presence over the years has increased. We have 300 plus, leveraging the value that we add from our solutions. And the growth that itself speaks about how we are managing their data and the confidence they have in our solution. With 95% plus retention rate of these customers, we on year have been achieving new milestones. And we have been partnershiping with multiple standards adopters like CAQH, DaVinci, Vedi, and through that, we have achieved multiple accords through recognition by industries in best in class successfully from 2023 to 2024 now. And also, we are HITRUST certified organization. So we are proudly associated with CAQH in that front. Next slide, please. Just wanted to give you a high-level overview of our solution portfolio. We have our presence from various transactions, but our healthcare cloud and smart platform, which is housing our portfolio. Within it, you have the modular approach where SaaS-based options are available so that you can flip between different modules. But the base one is the interoperability cloud solution, which house our unified gateway for all the transactions, whichever organization is dealing with. With that, you can add on your modular solutions like enrollment, encounters, risk adjustment, value-based programs, or prior authorization. So the data management hosted on our cloud solutions, the customer can add more values with these modular solutions as we keep on providing more and more technology enhancements. So as a group, we have our presence with more than 90% of the US healthcare organizations that are health payers, right? And we are proudly associated with CAQH in that front also. Our partnership with CAQH will go next there. It goes back 2007, where we built our solution to host the testing platform, which is under our interoperability solution. So And again, we are the only authorized vendor as far as the code testing solutions are concerned. We started initially with eligibility transaction and then added the claim status transactions, and then the rest of the HIPAA suits came into picture. Year on year, the technology enhancements has taken place, and we made sure that we stay up to the date with the security protocols and authentication mechanism, which has been approved by CAQH and implemented by our Edifix solutions. With that, I'll have to hand it over to Harsha for demo onto CAQH. Thank you.
Just allow me a minute, I'll share my screen.
Looks like we're having a slight technical difficulty. Harsha, it's not letting you share your screen. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, it says that host is not allowing multiple presenters to share the screen.
Okay, Sarah, maybe stop sharing the screen for a second and see if she can request it that way.
Yeah, now I'm able to share my screen.
Perfect.
Yeah, just let me know once it's visible to you all.
Looks great.
Okay, so let me give you a walkthrough of the new testing site. So you can log in from the Edifix core login portal. From the Edifix website, if you're registering after 18th of October, kindly use the new portal login. Since you will be registering for the very first time, you need to sign up for an account. Here I'm using a dummy email. Since you're registering for the very first time, your organization is not already registered, so you need to create an account for your organization. You can select your organization type from the drop-down menu. If your organization type is not provided in the drop-down menu, you can simply add it from the below option. So let me select as a vendor. Just provide the name of your organization and fill all the necessary details and click on the next option. Provide the name of the organization administrator, and the organization administrator will also be the primary contact. Provide some username and password. And click on the next option. You can verify all the details. If something doesn't feel right, you can just click on the back option and make the necessary changes. And then you can confirm your profile. Once the profile has been confirmed, you will get a confirmation email. So here you can just verify your email address by clicking on the confirm button. And then you'll get redirected to the portal itself. So you can just sign up, sign in, provide your credentials. And then you'll land into the CAQH, Edifix CAQH core testing portal, the home page. Here, I would request you to kindly first download the Quick Start Guide. This Quick Start Guide consists of all the information related to the new testing site, how to self-register yourself, what transactions are involved, what are the testing steps, what kind of tasks are there in the portal itself. So the very first step is to download this Quick Start Guide before doing any kind of testing. Second, I would request you to download this program self-enrollment guide as well. So self-enrollment guide will serve as the basis for your self-enrollment into the programs. Here you can see that the stakeholder types, the request type, and the processing mode, each and everything has been listed over here. Based on this, you can enroll yourself into the programs which are suitable for your organization. Moving on to the programs tab. So right now you have not enrolled into any of the programs. So you'll see this as a blank page. You can either self-enroll yourself into the list of the given programs, or you can just go to the service request tab and create a new service request by providing your name, selecting your organization, and then you can just select a program if any program you are enrolled into, or you can just simply provide the category, whether it's a request, an information, or a comment. And then you can just add a status as well and provide some description. For instance, I want to get enrolled into benefit and enrollment. So I'll just simply write, kindly enroll me. And then I'll click on the create button. So in this manner, a service request has been created. This service request will go to the Edifix support, and support people will just cater to your requests. In this case, they will send you an invite for benefit and enrollment. So when you go back to the program section, you can see there's an invitation. You can just simply accept an invitation if the enrollment request that you've raised is correct, or you can decline it if an incorrect program has been assigned to you. So in this case, I have been enrolled into the program I requested for. So I'll just confirm my enrollment. So in this manner, I am enrolled into a program. Also, in the notification section, their notifications will pop off if any changes have been made by the administrator or there is a new update. Talking about the next thing that we have is this help center. This help center will take you to the Smart Training Cloud Help Center. This will include all the information related to the onboarding and testing cloud service. Now I'll show you how to enroll yourself into a program. So this is the eligibility benefits information source real-time program. I'll click on the enroll button and I'll confirm. Once this has been confirmed, I am enrolled into this particular program. Now moving on into how to perform the task and what all types of tasks are there. So currently you can see there are a total of 201 tasks. And the very first task is a branching task where you are supposed to, select whether you're performing certification or recertification. Some test instructions have been provided. You can follow that. So the very first instruction is to click on the execute button, select an option. Here I'm selecting it as certification. Click on the save button. If you want to make any change in the selection, you can simply click on edit and then make any change. And then once you've satisfied with your selection, just click on the mark complete button. So this task has been completed. Now moving on, I'll show you one of the transaction task. So this is something new, the REST API auth transaction. So here we have provided some description related to the task, what kind of task, what message protocol is being used, along with some execution instructions. So the first step is to create an execution run. You can create an execution run from this option, or also you can click on the execute button. So let's create a new execution. Provide a suitable name to your execution. In this case, let me just make it as execution 1. Then you need to provide the endpoint for the request submission. This is something that is configured on the stakeholders end. So I'm using one that has been configured on my system. Need to upload my organization certificate. So just provide the password as well. Now let me just add other details as well, like the authorization endpoint. So once all these details have been provided, just make sure to change the sender ID and the receiver ID. In this case, Edifix is the sender and the receiver will be CAQH. For you, your organization will be the sender and receiver will be CAQH. Now click on the save button. This execution has been saved. If you click on the cancel button, you will be able to see an execution has been created. Now open this execution and you simply need to click on save and execute button. Just wait for some time and click on refresh. And you can see that the status has been marked as completed and the test case has been passed. So you can also download the submission responses as well the inbound response data validation report. So once the status has been completed, you can simply mark this task as completed. So this was about a responder task. Let me also show you one example for the submitter task. So I'll enroll myself in information eligibility and benefits, information requester task, the requester program. Just a second. So here also you can see that a set of tasks are available to you, and in a similar manner you can make a selection, and based on the selection the task which will be applicable to your organization will be visible to you. So click on the execute button, provide a name to your execution, and then you need to download this organization certificate. Now go to your Postman, create a new request, copy this endpoint request for submission, paste the URL here. Now go to the settings tab. The very first thing is to disable this SSL certificate verification. Now go to Keystore Explorer, just import your certificate. Now provide the password. Now you need to export the key pair. Save it in the form of a PFX file. Now when you go back to Postman, go to the settings button. And in the certificates option, just add a certificate. Select the PFX file that you've generated, as well as provide the URL, the host URL. In this case, it will be onboarding course edifixcloud.com. Add the certificate. Since we are doing testing for auth, go to the authorizations tab. Select auth 2.0. Now you can now when you go back to the portal itself, there is certain details have been provided related to the authorization endpoint, token endpoint. Just copy all these details and paste them here according to the tabs. Go to the body section, click on raw, add your request, select it as JSON. Now go to authorizations again, generate a new token, click on proceed, use this token, and also just save this execution first so that you are able to generate a payload ID. This payload ID, you need to add it into your request. Before sending this request, make sure you check the processing mode, the sender ID and the receiver ID. And now you just hit on the send button. You can see here that the error code says it's a success. Same thing will be reflected here on the portal as well. Wait for some time, click on the refresh button, and you will be able to see that the status has been completed and a result has been passed. So you can mark this task as completed. So in a similar manner, you can complete all the different types of tasks. And once all the tasks have been completed, go to the top right corner and mark the program as completed. So here, if I mark the program as completed, then just a second. Since I haven't completed all the tasks, so an error message will pop up. But if you have completed all the tasks, then we'll be able to generate some completion reports, which will be shared with the CAQH team, and you'll be good with the certification. So yeah, that's all from my end. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Harsha, for that overview. And I just want to reiterate to everyone that we will have this recording up and available, so you can always reference that really helpful demo again on our website once it's uploaded. We do have a bit of time for Q&A, and I just have one question that came in that I'd like to ask the core team. We had somebody ask if an organization can an organization certify multiple operating rule sets simultaneously, or must they be certified in a specific sequence?
I can take this one, Jackie, or Adam, since you're online. Go for it.
Yeah, thanks, Jackie. Thanks, Taha. Yes, organizations can pursue any operating rule sets in any order. There's no specific order. They don't have to go from eligibility and benefits to claim status to payment and remittance. They can mix and match as they choose. So if you as a vendor or clearinghouse within the healthcare revenue cycle space are they only conduct let's say payment and remittance, then that would be the operating rule set that you would pursue. Thank you.
And maybe one thing to add in, if you do decide to do suppose you have the budget in place and the resources and decide to do multiple operating rules at once, that's totally okay. We do offer a discount for those that do more than one at a time. So just want to call that out.
Thank you both. And I know we just have a minute left, so I'm going to wrap things up with a brief call to action. And if you do have any questions, even though we're out of time, they will come through to us and we can go ahead and answer them offline. But this is just, let you all know if your organization is using standard transactions on a day-to-day basis and you're interested in learning more about certification, our team is always happy to set up a one-on-one call with you to help get you set up. And if you'd like to do that, just feel free to email us at core@caqh.org. We monitor that inbox daily and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So with that, I'd really like to thank the Edifex team for joining us today and providing that helpful demo. We're really excited about the redesigned testing platform. And thank you all for joining us this afternoon. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
You everyone.